evening. This meeting of the Nottaway County Board of Supervisors is called to order. All right, we have on our agenda personnel actions, item B1, censure.
Madam Chair, may I have the floor for entertaining a motion, please?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I called to the attention of the Board of Supervisors. Rourke has recently appeared before the Nottaway County School Board calling for dismissal of several staff members over an extremely sensitive and protected matter. That action led to a serious verbal confrontation with at least one citizen outside of subsequent meeting of the Nottaway County School Board. These actions do not reflect the opinion of the Board of Supervisors, nor does the Board of Supervisors in any way condone interaction with any citizen at any time in such a highly aggressive manner. As to the latter occurrence, while no criminal or civil charges have been brought, the vast majority of the citizens communicating on this issue have made it clear that they, like the Board of Supervisors, expect respect and civility from their elected representatives, especially when interacting with citizens. This breach of respect and civility deters this body and its staff from doing the work of the people, causing harm to this body and Nottaway County as a whole. The Board of Supervisors must show our disapproval of Supervisor Rourke's judgment which led to these unacceptable behaviors. Therefore, I move that we censure Supervisor Rourke.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to censure. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I have two opposed motions. I'd like to read it out. As Madam Chair, I'd like to call to the attention of the board that Supervisor Rourke has recently been accused of some inappropriate actions. Those actions were at the rear entrance of the high school on February 10th, 2022. As reported by the Sheriff's Office, there was a disturbance and the parties were separated and dispersed. These actions do not reflect the opinion of the Board of Supervisors, nor does the Board of Supervisors in any way condone interaction with any citizen at any time in such manner. As to the occurrence, no charges have been brought. There is conflicting statements of the event, and video evidence does not prove guilt or innocence either way. The Board of Supervisors must show our disapproval of Supervisor Rourke's judgment on the night in question. Therefore, I move that we censure Supervisor Rourke for his judgment on the night in question.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to amend the censure to censoring Supervisor Rourke's judgment on the night in question. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So do we have a second? All right, we don't have a second, so the motion dies.
Madam, my motion is still on the floor.
Yeah. So we have a motion, the main motion, and we have a second on the floor.
You still open for discussion, Madam Chair?
Any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am. All right, in the motion, it says sensitive and protective. After our closed session the other night, I was prepared to accept what we discussed and even accept an action of censorship from this board. But after hearing the motion, I realized that it says I did something that I did not do, as in discussing protected information. I cannot sit back and support it anymore. It is slanderous. This issue was never even discussed. You are making a statement about something that neither one of you are an expert on. I released no protected information whatsoever. Never once did I release any identifying information or release any names. I believe this statement was added to appease the good old boys who are the rich and powerful in this county, and I want to inform you that it will not stop me from standing up or advocating for any citizen or child in the future. Sensitive and protective. That information was specific to the victim and that victim's mother. They chose me as the advocate, and I ask that y'all strike that from the motion.
All right. So are you putting this in the form of a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we have a motion on the floor to strike the information as noted by Mr. Rourke from the censure. Do we have a second?
I'd like to
No.
discuss, Madam Chair.
Okay.
More further discussion. We did discuss, we went in a closed meeting, Mr. Rourke, and we discussed many issues for over an hour and a half. And you admitted that you needed to be censored. The motion still stays on the floor as is.
And I second it.
All right, so we had Mr. Rourke's motion on the floor. There was no second.
Nope.
The motion dies. We go back to the main motion on which we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to ask this board consider a state police investigation of all the matters involved and hold any action taken until the state police can conclude an investigation. I believe that there's been some criminal activity, including from some members of this board, and clearly from some of those that are making the accusations.
Are you putting that in the form, you're requesting the form of a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have Mr. Rourke's motion on the floor. Is there a second? All right, no second.
More discussion,
All right.
Madam Chair. That's a reactive, we were in there for an hour and a half, and it's a reactive way of not being censored. He mentions good old boys, and my citizens are mentioning the SMTs, okay? The SMTs, okay? Motion stays on the floor, Madam Chair.
All right, so we don't have a second to Mr. Rourke's motion, so the motion dies. We're back to the main motion in a second. I'm calling the question. Debate ends. All in favor of the original main motion to censure, vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, vote nay. Any abstain? The affirmative has it. The motion is carried. Supervisor Rourke, you have been censured by the Board of Supervisors of Nottoway County, of which you are a full member. The censure indicates the board's displeasure with your conduct, but also its hope and encouragement you will conduct yourself with respect and civility going forward. All right, we're going to move forward with agenda item B2, Vice Chair. Do I have a motion regarding rescission of this board's action regarding the Vice Chair?
Madam Chair, I move to suspend our bylaws and rules of procedure to the extent necessary and reconsider our action of January 6, 2022, appointing Supervisor Rourke to the position of Vice Chair of the Nottoway County Board of Supervisors for the calendar year 2022.
All right, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Citizens of Nottoway County, I've been a fair Republican all my life. My Republican friends and Democratic friends as well that know me best will attest to the fact that I will do what I believe is best for all, and sometimes, unfortunately, a decision is not liked by all. It's those hard decisions that are not popular but necessary. Recently, I reported an incident of sexual assault to the school board at the mother and victim's request because the school superintendent had not done so herself. I asked for accountability in that case, supported with facts of documents and the mother and victim's own public statement. I would do it again. I would do it for you and your child as well. Also, I believe the public needed to know what is going on in the schools that we send our children to. Obviously, some people are upset because I spoke out. For those people, I say it didn't involve you or your children in any way, so why attack me with your statements? And it's not your story, it's the victim's story, and they asked me to advocate for them. I did, and I would do it for you as well if you needed justice. So I have some questions for you to consider. Why am I being attacked for standing up for God's greatest gifts to us? Why has no one came out and denied that there's not a serious problem at the middle school? And why has no one said it didn't happen? Why has no one came out in defense of the principal? I offer this. Are you all that are critical of me willing to put that same passion into joining me at the table to find a resolution, because I sure am. I again want to thank Nottoway Sheriff's Office for all they did in this matter, and also want to thank the Commonwealth Attorney's Office for their due diligence. I tell you all, regardless of party, to pay very, very close attention as things move forward. One individual is leading a behind-the-scenes tyrannical effort to bring down those who he believes are the biggest influencers on your local elected and appointed boards that you elected and serve you. Why is he trying to bring down your outspoken leaders on the school board? Why did he fight against the changes at the electoral board that is tasked with providing fair elections here at home? Why is he emailing citizens asking them to come before the Board of Supervisors to ask for my resignation? He has found a handful of individuals to do his bidding and another handful to sit in the roads to encourage them. Are these people bad? Absolutely not. I believe they are misguided by someone who is in a specific point of influence, and they are not seeing the whole picture, and it won't end the way he thinks. I will not stop standing up for the citizens and their rights. I'm going to stand up for everyone's children. Why is he after your outspoken elected members? It's because we won't bend to his tyrannical thoughts and desires. We refuse to fill his cup that quenches his thirst for power. Who's next? Our beloved sheriff or someone in his department? Citizens, please pay attention as we are at a crossroads and all we want is the truth and accountability. Speaking of accountability, I want to address the events after the last school board meeting. Some of what was said recently was inaccurate. Were there words exchanged? Yes. Were there some heated moments? Yes. Did a gentleman and myself come face to face? We did. As you all know, I am a very passionate person. I stand up for the citizens. I was distressed that a known sexual assault victim was being questioned and worse yet, being shamed for coming forward telling his story, and the fact that my words and motives were being questioned, and those were the direct words of the victim. I apologize to the people who feel that my language was unbecoming of an elected official. Just to be clear, I never called anyone a profane name, nor was I threatening to anyone. I've been Republican leaning all my life, and I must ask, when did we start victim shaming? When did any conservatives not stand up and support victims when they come forward with their stories so as to try and prevent the same horrible actions from happening to others? Other citizens over the last few years have reached out to me to be an advocate for them on their issues that they care about and look at the changes Nottoway has been able to make because I was that advocate. Last year at this time, I was standing up for every citizen in this county during the disaster that was the ice storm and look at the positive changes that have been made since I took that stance. Your health, safety, and welfare in the event of the next potential disaster is better protected and prepared than it's ever been in this county's history. Thanks to the fellow board members, staff, and especially the citizens for making that happen because I couldn't do it alone. I will offer this since I want a resolution. The school system should have simply came out, acknowledged this when it happened, and been upfront and transparent with the public and recognized that a review of how they handled this was necessary, and the public would have been appreciative of it. The mother and victim, I feel, would have accepted it along with an assurance that all steps would be in place and policies followed to best try to keep this from happening to her child or anyone else's. Honesty, transparency, and accountability. Is that too much to ask from a school system? I think not. It should be the way it is. And a study released just back on February 15th, 2022. As I understand the release, Nottoway is 21st worst in the state in educated population. 74 counties out of 95 are better than Nottoway. We are in the bottom quarter in the state. Currently, our school system is being investigated by the United States Department of Education. They have sent 2 civil rights attorneys from Washington, D.C. to Nottoway just months ago, as reported in the Courier Record, and surely, with the recent events, there will be other investigations and civil suits filed which could possibly lead to loss of federal funding, which you, the taxpayers, will be forced to supplement through local tax increases. Do you all see how important it is now to make sure that that school system is protecting all the children? Is my agenda clear to you all now? I am first trying to protect our children and also trying to avoid an avoidable tax increase to the taxpaying citizens in this county. Are you all sensing my urgency now? Do you see where this is going if there is not a change at the school? While you are arguing over what I said in the meeting, I'm out here trying to avoid a disaster to the taxpayers. I have an agenda. I have an agenda because I'm an elected official. Those without agendas are simply not doing their jobs. My agenda starts with the health, safety, and welfare of this county's people, which especially includes our children. I hope that you, the citizens, can recognize that a stance on bullying and sexual assaults in our schools have been made, and now an attempted cover-up of these horrific acts are being perpetrated. It is a deflection of the real issues parents have brought forth, spearheaded by one man. I am not a politician or a puppet. That's why I was elected. Citizens wanted change, and I'm an advocate for change. I have proven that and will continue to serve District 2 to the best of my abilities moving forward as I see fit. And I'll share this thought. Change is uncomfortable, especially if you have to change. Truth by nature is a divider. I feel that statement is true because the truth divides us from lies, fictions, and other types of falsities. We should all always speak truth even when it hurts, even when it's offensive or someone doesn't like it. Even if it's divisive or insulting, and sometimes it hurts our feelings, even if the truth is not popular. But the painful truth is better than comfortable lies or silence. If anyone needs a reference for what truth is, God's word is truth and a guide you can anchor to. I just want everyone here and on video watching to know, a lot has been said about me. I've said a lot about things. I'm here to make a statement that we can all agree on, and here it goes. I, John Rourke, being of sound mind and troubled body, do hereby plead guilty to the following. Number one, absolutely I am not a member, nor have I ever been a member of the Good Old Boys Club. I am not in the clique on this board. I am one that asks questions of my government that makes people uncomfortable. I am willing to put in extra time and have extra work sessions to make our government more effective, but the majority of this board is too tired and just wants to go home and have a placard in front of their chair. I am John Rourke, that when asked, or even not asked, fights for the citizens, so I'm 100% guilty of that. If this board wants to draft some resolution stating that you don't like me, you wish I hadn't won my seat, that I stand up for citizens, that I fought for the change in this county, and that I will continue to serve District 2 the way the citizens voted me in to do, then I will absolutely vote yes to that resolution as well. You all do what you want to do, but remember, you had a chance to do things, multiple things, the right way, but this board, along with a law firm that doesn't like me, want to appease a handful of people that are caught in less than truthful statements, along with attempted cover-ups of multiple issues that are now coming down upon you. The good, decent, honest citizens in this county will see what the end result is. When all these issues come to light publicly and legally moving forward, attack my credibility all you want, but when it comes out, there's plenty of chairs, tables, and crow to go around. God don't like a liar, and no one will stop me for advocating for the citizens, especially our children, including and especially this board. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I still have a motion on the floor.
Okay, so we have the motion on the floor. Did we get a second on that?
Yes, Sherman
Okay,
did.
so we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Madam Chair, more discussion, please.
Okay, certainly.
So, Madam Chair, let me say this. I'm speaking for Steve Bourne, District 1, okay? I frequently referred to Mr. Rourke when he got on his board as he's been a spark plug for me. You know, and I will say that he's done some good things in this county. I will say that. But some of his behavior has overshadowed those good things, okay? And that's just the way I feel. So when he mentioned that he thinks that in this, but I think that needs to be handled in a different manner, in a closed session, a private manner. If he mentioned that he thinks we should have some type of state police investigation, we need to have that discussion in private some way if it's legal, okay? But I just want to throw that out there. He has done some good things. I'm not arguing with that. But some of his behaviors, because of his, I felt like it was his judgment, has overshadowed his good things. And I want to say that because I'm not arguing with some of the things you're saying, Mr. Rourke, okay? But I still believe what I believe in.
Madam Chair, I think he's fair. I think what he said was fair, just for the record.
All right, so is there any other discussion, Mr. Barr and Ms. Simmons? Okay. All right, so we have the motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, vote nay. Any abstain? The motion passes. The board suspends its bylaws and rules of procedure to the extent necessary to reconsider action of January 6, 2022. Do I have a motion regarding the vice chair?
Madam Chair, I move to elect Steve Bowen, Vice Chairman.
I think we have to, we suspended bylaws, and I think we need the motion to rescind our action.
Madam Chair, I move to rescind our action on January 6, 2022, appointing Supervisor Rourke to the position of Vice Chair of the Nottaway County Board of Supervisors and remove him from the position for the calendar year 2022 for the reasons cited in the recent censure.
All right, do we have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Any abstain? The motion passes. The board's action of January 6, 2022, appointing Supervisor Rourke to the position of Vice Chair is rescinded. Do I have a motion regarding the Vice Chair vacancy?
Are you opening the floor to nominations?
Pardon?
Yes, would like to make a motion to nominate.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mr. Bowen for Vice Chair for the remainder of the year.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any
Motion to close nominations, please.
Okay. I need a second on that. And then we need a second to close the nomination? All right, we have a motion and a second to close the nominations. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now we have, consider the motion for the appointment of Mr. Bowen as vice chair. And we have a motion and a second on that. Is that correct? Did someone second that? Okay. All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Supervisor Bowen is Vice Chair of the Nottaway County Board of Supervisors for the remainder of calendar year 2022. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Mr. Bowen.